Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store for such products like the Blue Yeti microphone, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo, and this is 3 Buck Theater, and this is a really interesting story, especially concerning how big and crazy and massive the release of Star Wars The Last Jedi was. Over on Showbiz 411, they have an article here titled, Star Wars Box Office Decline, Last Jedi First Tuesday Receipts Are 42% Off from The Force Awakens. What that essentially means is just that the movie's earning less money when compared to the previous episode. Even though it's still doing very well, it's not doing as much. It says here that The Last Jedi Tuesday was 20.3 million versus 37 million for The Force Awakens on its first Tuesday. That's around 42% off. 17 million is a big difference. Monday and Tuesday are big days for adults going to the movies, so this development is a little surprising. Almost every other film increased from Monday to Tuesday by quite a lot. Only Last Jedi declined by 6%. Again, Monday and Tuesdays are the days when adults come out to sample smart movies. For some reason, their interest in Star Wars was less than imagined. Now, I'm not entirely sure how to interpret this data. I can't give you, a whole heavy analysis of it. I can only tell you what I know from my years of working in the movie industry, at least movie theaters, I should say, the years I spent living in Hollywood, and just my takeaway from the response to this movie over the course of the past weekend. And I've talked about it at great length, but I'm talking about it still because I find it to be fascinating. So here's what we need to consider. Number one, The Force Awakens was the first, episode from 2003 to 2015, 12 years. Sorry, 2005 to 2005 to 2015. So 10 years. I don't know why I was thinking 2003. So we have that, right? And you've got, J.J. Abrams directing Han Solo. It's a new Star Wars movie. It's a non-Lucas movie. It's a big, huge marketing push. And people were genuinely excited. The movie has gone on to gross over $2 billion. I mean, it would make sense that people would go back multiple times. I myself saw it multiple times in theaters in the first week. And so same with Last Jedi. It's, again, and same with Rogue One even. It's just what I do. And so that being said, it's a lot of people are going back, but what could have happened? Well, Rogue One had a bit of a dip compared to The Force Awakens. Many people chalked that up to it not being part of the Skywalker saga. Others have chalked it up to it being the first standalone film, or it just not being very good or ultimately pointless because we already kind of technically knew the story. But still, that one grossed to $1.5 billion. This movie's already grossed $500 million in the first couple days of release worldwide. And it's not showing any real signs of slowing down. I have a feeling that what it will be is this. Even though it's down 42% from the first week or the first couple days within its first week, it's really going to be the first weekend numbers that are going to decide whether or not this thing has legs or it will crash and burn. However, I do want to speculate because that's what I do here. I'm speculating because I have a feeling it might actually get hit. Now, if I'm wrong and it goes on to make, it has a drop off, but not that much of a drop off, it still goes on to make a lot of money, then I'm not going to be too worried about it. And I will totally admit that I was wrong. But let's think about this for a second. Let's go back to the audience scores. Now, as much as I hate Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't want to feel like Rotten Tomatoes influences anything, and I think it's been proven that it maybe doesn't, but we never really look at the audience score influencing. It's always the critical score. So it's whether it's certified fresh or just it's fresh or it's rotten. That is usually what everyone focuses on when it comes to whether or not Rotten Tomatoes influence something. Well, the 55% audience score that The Last Jedi has, on top of the fact that even my video about how Disney ruined Star Wars with The Last Jedi is over 200,000 views, and the majority of comments on there are very much in agreement with my nitpicking how things were handled in the movie. Okay. And so with that being said, and a lot of people kind of attacking the film, it makes you really wonder if people just didn't go because they were like, ooh, I heard some bad things about it. There's been a couple things circulated around online that clearly are going to have an impact. And it's one of those things where I'm wondering if I helped add to that right now. The reason why I say that is while I had my beef with the movie and while I'm not regretting my video or pulling back my video, I tend to be one of the more positive people when I go see movies. I tend to like as much as I possibly can. I tend to recommend movies. I want to be positive about the industry because I love the industry. Star Wars just bugged me, and it frustrated me, which is why I vented in the way that I did. And so I'm wondering if that, not my video necessarily, but just people's commentary and how it spreads. And negativity tends to spread faster than positivity. So I'm wondering if this is one of those things that might have added into this potential loss. That being said, we don't fully know until after its first weekend, but a 42% drop from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, which is being heralded by many critics as better than The Force Awakens, and many people are like, choosing to die on the hill that it was better than The Force Awakens, really makes you question how accurate that reporting is, and whether or not that Facebook troll group did in fact manipulate those numbers, or whether or not Rotten Tomatoes is correct by suggesting that it's 100% accurate. But I leave it to you to decide. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. If you haven't already, please thumbs up the video, subscribe if you're new, check back often for new commentary from me. And if you guys want to see more videos from me, you can do so right now.